Alright, I'm here getting Indian food with Fifer. Is that your Twitter?
That is my handle, yes.
Raving
Rave with Fifer.
Rave with Fifer. And she's talking to us about this cute little Samsung 360, which I think is the most beautiful design. Like, I remember a buddy of mine came out with a camera, looked very similar to this, and it's like waterproof little sphere. Looks beautiful. Like, I think people are more attracted to circular things rather than square things as we're looking at like the Kodak and this.
I think it looks like Wally's girlfriend.
Totally, yeah.
So we're talking about dual 4K, 30 frames a second, but it's recording onto one rectangular bar. So if you take the memory out of here, there you go. So it's got a regular little Android USB battery pack that is changeable. You've got a micro SD slot.
Can you just plug in power and keep it running for a while? Or?
Yeah, and that is a good thing about it. The not so good thing about it is that if you take out the SD and you put it directly into your computer, what you get is a rectangular file that is a lot like the Theta file that you see at first, but then unlike the Theta, which has proprietary software for desktop, we don't have any kind of stitching software for the computer yet, and so you have to do it through mobile.
Have you tried stitching it yet in like an Auto Giga or AVP?
Yeah, so I did it. I tried to do it in color, and the issue with that is that it ends up being more difficult than a dual camera setup because you have to chop it in two first, and if you don't chop it quite right, then you're screwed.
But it's really pretty looking. It's really, really cute.
Yes, and if you're shooting something only for mobile, and your goal is to, shoot your dance practice and then share it on Facebook with your dance group, then I'm sure that is great, and it does, you could do some live streaming stuff with it, but I would like a little bit more hands-on capability of tweaking the stitch. Thank you very much.
And also another thing about it that I've noticed is, yes I am, thank you. I saw it at Silicon Valley VR, and a guy was, had it on his phone. You were able to see it real time. It was a little delayed, not real time.
Right.
But it was a low light level situation, and it looks kind of like, oh, what are we even looking at? How do you feel about how it works in low light?
I don't feel like any of these cameras work very well in low light. These are not DSLR sensors.
Yeah, totally.
And the essence of most of these cameras is like an action camera.
You've been able to stitch it in your phone. Can I see some of that?
No, that's the other thing. So I was able to stitch it. I can't connect to it on my phone at the moment.
Really?
When I was at work, a colleague of mine was able to do it on his S7. I have a Note 5. It should work. I have the software. We can try it out. And maybe
what's the process you go through? Even
yes.
Turn on the Wi-Fi with it?
Right, this is not... so you turn on the camera, which is here. Okay, and then you push this little Bluetooth enabler, and it says Gear 360 Manager, and you say, okay.
Ooh, it's so cute. Can I flip it?
You may.
Look at that, Gear 360. It's got like a nice... I haven't seen any, that really like pop up like that, like so bright that you can see it far away.
This is true. So then it says, I put my Bluetooth on my phone, it says Gear 360. Fantastic.
Connected.
So,
see, this is the part I don't like about any wireless anything.
And I have waited like this for an hour, and I don't really know what the problem is, but I can pretty much
no connection. But it looks pretty, and it's pretty close to 4K resolution, and the price tag is right.
Yes, I think for mobile 360, This is what you probably want if you can get it to connect, which I will continue to fuss with, obviously.
So the big issues here is it can't connect, so you can't get it to work and do a live stitch on there.
I can't get it to do any stitching because there's no stitching on the
That's what I was getting to. So
Yes.
the second option, take the card, which is how I would do it as an iPhone user. You can't do that either.
Right, and how I would do it as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be stitching things on your phone as a filmmaker.
It just seems like a degradation of quality when you're moving it from one device to another.
Perhaps. Or
I
at
think-
very
I think
least you have no
something.
control.
Yeah.
All of these cameras have their ups and downs, for sure. And having a dual K where you can just, dual 4K where you can point and shoot, it's like, or you're not pointing, but it's just one button. That's pretty cool.
What's your take on shooting blind? It's a phrase I use where it's like you have to set up your 360 camera and you don't know what you're going to get. Are you afraid of doing that, or do you think like you kind of know what you're going to get at the end of the day, and it's just a matter of like?
Well, if I'm shooting a show, shows are pretty predictable, to be honest.
Yeah, you know where they're going to be, where the action is, because the lighting's already pre-set up and
And
everything.
usually I work with the artist who's performing to, let them know that I'm not, that the camera's going to be there, and if it's in their way, like, they can talk to me. And,
Totally,
but in situations like for the documentary that I'm going to shoot, I think
chicken tandoori. I was considering getting that.
it's sizzling.
Yeah,
I like
but
that.
I thought it would be too much for cameras. Like, no.
Sizzling cameras?
Totally.
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I think, I lost my train of thought. Oh well.
Shooting in the blind with artists.
Right.
You know what they're going to do, sort of.
Yeah.
You're sort of prepared in a way.
That's where I was going with this. So, but if I'm shooting blind in a situation where I really need actors to do something, or maybe not actors, but like if I'm in an interview setting, if I'm making a documentary, I'm trying to do an interview in 360 where the person should be interacting directly with the subject, the viewer, and I'm not in it because I'm not part of the story.
Yeah.
Then that is a little worrying. And so I'm doing like Bluetooth earpieces
to
be able to tell what they're saying and stuff, but they're